So we're chilling out here in Texas. So, you know, I'm bundling up today. Finally got the merch samples myself. They came in just in time. What I didn't realize, though, is that the handle would be on the left side when having the logo facing the camera. Now I feel like to inconspicuously plug my own merch and totally not being a sellout shill, I have to grab it with my left hand. Daigo says, I was so naive. Daigo's new outlook on character selection and game balance. I really lost to the same character a lot this season. Who don't you like facing besides Marissa? Me and Daigo? Listen, two goats in a pod here. Listen, my #1 worst matchup with C Viper has to be Marissa, by far. He's just like me, man. Me and Daigo losing to Marissa, bottom 3 character in the game, nonstop. Akuma players struggle a lot with Mai. He's a believer. He believes Mai can do it against Akuma.
SFL 終わったら、でも分かんないよね。調整待たないとね。調整のタイミング分かんないからね。難しいよな。今に始まったことじゃないけど。結構だからみんな、あれよね。エド使い始めてる。
Everyone's starting to use that.
We
don't know for sure if the patch is actually coming. Spiteful. Everyone's pissed that they're not going to patch the game, so they're all switching to top 1 ed. This is what we need. We need all of NA to 100% switch to Mai. The rest of the world will all switch to Mai, and all of Japan will switch to ed. Finally, everyone converges on their perceived #1. And then we'll reach the final end game of this divergent evolution from separated logical regions. Adpocalypse, Mai-mageddon, kind of bars, not gonna lie. Sagat's pretty strong.
しかもね、なんか強いのはわかるんだ。火力高いとか強いのはわかるんだけど、なんだろうな、まあ合気でやってると。
Basically, Akuma, how can I put it? Not unpleasant character to face. With Akuma, really? I feel like Sagat does pretty good against Akuma. He doesn't really have any moves that feel unfair or broken. As Sagat, his stand medium punch strings +2 in a game like Street Fighter 6 do seem oppressive, and the fact that he gets a fat fucking trade combo into an easy crouching medium punch conversion is a bit much. However, I can understand it because his walk speed is so slow and his throw pressure, while strong enough, requires drive rush to complete. The downside to doing a block against that sequence is like not the end of the world. You are forced to parry eventually to protect your drive gauge, which he can exploit by staggering his pressure and just going for a grab on reaction. It is very good, but there's a clear risk reward minigame going on for both players. It's annoying, but I also agree it doesn't feel like the end of the world, but it's very strong. Thinks he's a well-made character. Viper combos, let's go. Oh, never mind. You gave up on Viper? Give me hope, Daigo. Give me hope. I think the properties of your normal attacks are really important in this game. They're important for stopping an opponent's drive rush as well as for your own drive rush setups. Selecting a character is a decision you really can't take lightly. That's something this past year really hit home for me many times. Because nothing's changing. They're not rebalancing things. It's almost shocking. Oh, I didn't know he went into this. I have not watched this video yet. But what about Viper though? It seems like he was implying that Viper does not have good normals. I think Viper's normals are really good. Her stand MK and crouching MK are amazing. And if you could drive rush cancel either of them, they would be top tier. But because you have to jump cancel them and commit to spending bar and hedge your reward, like if I do crouching MK to Thunder Dash, that costs a bar, is a commitment, and doesn't lead to half your life on hit. So there's an issue with that relative to the rest of the cast, where it can just kill them. Yeah, they're not balancing things.
いや、さすがにここは調査され
Realize
るっしょ
now
みた
how
いな。
naive of me it was to assume they would rebalance certain things that seemed out of whack. Why aren't they balancing things? I don't understand. Okay, Daigo, finally. You know what's crazy is I feel like I'm always gaslit by the more casual focused Street Fighter 6 community, because whenever you talk about like the fact that it's strange that it's not being balanced or that they're not paying attention to it, there's an overwhelming amount of feedback that is like, you are just a spoiled fucking brat. And back in my day, we paid $60 for a game and we played with it and it was never updated. And I'm like, am I the one that is out of touch here, or am I arguing with a bunch of boomers who don't play modern games? Like, and they're like, oh, the game is doing amazing and Japan is so happy. And I'm like, that's not true anymore. Like, we're finally seeing that people are from all sorts of different regions, including the most popular region, which is Japan, which is the primary audience, are acknowledging that it is strange that the balance is not being adjusted. I think there is a big psychological effect where if you know the game is done, you can let go of expectations and accept it for what it is. While a game is considered actively being updated, there will always be this sense of anticipation for the next change, or looking to the future, or having expectations about what things could be. If there was clear communication that the game is over, then you accept it or move on. I think it would be a lot more easy for people to accept that. So, I mean, there's different expectations from everyone involved. If you're part of the competitive, active player base, you're going to have far different expectations from people who primarily watch YouTube videos and Twitch streams about the content and maybe log on once every couple of weeks. I think people who say, oh, play the game for what it is, or don't, quit crying, I think that's a little bit too dismissive. And people who are like bitching all the time, that's also a problem. Like, I think there's something in the middle. There's extremes on both ends, for sure, don't get me wrong. There's people who complain no matter what and will never be satisfied, and they need to look inward and develop a little bit of self-reflection and patience and understand what they're signed up for. But I think the truth of the matter is that I don't think the developers going quiet or promising updates and then not delivering them is the right choice.
なんかそういう甘い考えを持ってやってたことをすごい反省した。あ、お布施ありがとうございます。ピカボーさんありがとうございます。求人見て、これすぐに調整来ないそうだ。
When I saw they were hiring a combat designer, I knew I wouldn't be getting patches anytime soon. I think that's probably the case. Yeah, that was one thing I was wondering. Like, I hope they're not trying to be like, oh shit, we don't have a balance patch. We need someone on the team to do this. And they're hiring now. I hope it's just planning for the future, but I actually don't know.
何なんだろうね。人足りなそうだよね。シーンは盛り上がってるけど。
So they don't have enough people. Yeah. I was questioning the staffing there. There's a lot of hype in the scene right now, but I guess that doesn't necessarily mean people want to work there. Damn. Scared of having a new person come in and change the combat balance? I know what you mean. That's the disaster that was Tekken 8 Season 2, right? Or I guess the last couple of years of Tekken. That's what the Tekken community has been complaining about. I really get a chance to engage in small talk with someone who knows nothing about me. Oh, small talk? The joy of small talk. What the hell? Do I want to? I'm trying to get to the Mena Daigo first to 10. I rarely get to engage in small talk with someone who knows nothing about me, but I did so very recently. Someone I didn't know at all, didn't even know their face. Daigo saying I'm too fucking famous in Japan. I got too much motion in Japan. I'm too hot right now that everyone fucking knows me. I can't be a regular ass dude. Is that what he's trying to say? Got it. Never mind. This is the section for me. I need to learn how to engage in small talk again, Daigo, because it's been years. Ever since the YouTube channel took off, Daigo, I go to the coffee shop, I go to the grocery store, I'm walking the dog, and holy shit, I can't find a single human being who doesn't come up to me and go, oh, Brian F, hey, how's the road to Warlord? Hey, what's going on? Hey, respect the stones. I need this.
マジで本当に初対面で。年はね、俺の3つ下ぐらいの人なんで。一般人。ね、その有名人。
An ordinary person.
仕事を何やってるんですか?
Not a celebrity. Not a celebrity. I'm so used to hanging with the richest, hottest people in Japan. God, finally a broke ass, no motion, poor motherfucker came up to me. And at first I thought he was about to beg me for money.
ちょっとこの状況はマジでどんな状況だよと思われるかもしれない。そこは一回ちょっと
I'm sure you're wondering what situation could have led to this, but just bear with me on that for now. Going to the grocery store. In what situation, guys, would you be outside and someone you don't know exists or who doesn't know you is out there existing right now? And what have you guys ever been outside and people around you don't know who you are?
いやまあなんか配信とかっすね。配信みたいな。
Daigo filling himself after this IDOM run back? I'd be too.
ゲームっす。
Video games.
どんなゲームっすか？あれっすか？なんだなんて言った？ Apex とかっすか？みたいな。
Apex?
そういうのもやったりはまあ。
Sometimes I play that kind of.
まあなんかそっち系っすね。みたいな。YouTube どれぐらいいるんですか？
How many subs do you have on YouTube?
いや、でもまあ10万とかって。
Around 100k, I lowballed a little. How much motion does Daigo have? He has 272 on this channel. 100k? This dude's a loser. Somehow got 100k. 5 fingers? You're making 5 fingers off this? 5 figures? 5.
いや、そういくらって片手、まあ、食えるだから、まあ、50万意味か。どっちなんだろう片手意味わかんない。
It means 5 figures, right? Like 50k, 60k, 90k.
片手でもわかんないから。ああ、でもまあ、はい、いや、なんとかもっとギリギリ。
He just said yes.
みたいな。エロですね。すごい時代っすね。みたいな。話をしたんですけど。
It's like, wow. This old man plays Apex on the internet and gets 5 fingers.
それがね。
What a world we live in. 5 human fingers.
楽しくてつか。
What a world.
先入観ない。
Man, Daigo misses not being famous. He really can't remember a time he talked to somebody you didn't know or didn't like look up to him. I guess it's got to be weird. Imagine your whole life being surrounded by people who idolize you to a degree. You have no preconceived notions of them, but the moment they talk to you, they have all these formed ideas regarding you. Is Daigo's life like being at EVO all the time? Because at EVO is the only place where normal looking people with, you know, like a wife and kids will like come up to me and they make me take photos with their children. And I'm like, what's going on? It's only at EVO. It's like a bizarre fairy tale universe. The rest of my life, I'm a completely anonymous nobody. So I can imagine if Daigo lived his life as just like he's at EVO 24/7 and he can't get away from it. One of my first EVOs back from COVID, I remember I got off a terminal at a connecting flight and someone stopped me and they said, "Oh, sorry. My son here watches your YouTube. He's too shy, but he wanted to get a picture with you." And he was like maybe 9 years old, 10 years old. And I wanted to be like, "Holy shit, kid, you gotta not be watching me." I almost grabbed their parents and said, "You need to observe their internet content consumption and put some parental controls on that iPad." Okay? Save them while you still can. Anyways, let's take a pic. Has there been any movement with the first attempt with Mena? Come on, what's the update? No comments?
No comments.
My man enunciated every syllable of that word. No comment. If you know you'll never beat a foreign runner at the 100 meter once you lose your motivation. Is this like an analogy to say that Daigo's too washed and he has no chance of beating Mena? I definitely felt that way when I was a kid. Yeah, but what about when Mena challenged you? Okay. Oh, Daigo was mad fast. Damn. Daigo running lore? I don't know who Carl Lewis is off the top of my head. American former track and field athlete. 9 Olympic gold medals? Sheesh. My bad, Carl Lewis. Man, Carl Lewis killed Daigo's dreams, and now he's just the best fighting game player, the most inspirational fighting game player of all time.
これから先、体を鍛えたとて。
Daigo's out here watching Mike Tyson and Carl Lewis?
格ゲーはそれもあった。いや、でもね、そういうのはなかったんだよな。格ゲーはなんか、でもね、思ったんだけど、結局ね、なんて言うんだろうね。圧倒的な才能を見せられて、
You see an example of overwhelming talent in something and you still keep trying. You're probably the real deal.
本当にその世界が好きな人なんだよね。陸上、俺が走るってことに情熱があったら、仮にかなわないかもしれないなと思っても、やっぱりカール・ルイスに。
Interesting. His theory here is that if you see overwhelming talent in a field you're truly passionate about, you don't get discouraged when you see someone reach heights that you potentially could never reach. You still have your passion and motivation.
その程度の結局熱意っていうか、生まれつき持ってる能力なんてそんなもんで、生まれつき持ってる能力にさ、そんなこだわりも愛着もねえから。でもこれで本当に信念があれば目指すは
When you truly believe in, you keep trying.
だけど、
Even if you think it might be a lost
始め
cause.
たばっかりの時に、本当に始めたばっかりの時に、例えばじゃあ俺が言ってた駄菓子屋ゲーセンとか、プラモ屋、トムってい
He
う
was
ね、
playing at the arcade and candy store and at Tom.
立川さんだったら、もしかしたら
The Street Fighter 2 player Tachikawa. So there's a different Tachikawa? Interesting.
なんかやる気なくなってたかもしれない。
Tachikawa could have
レベル差で言うとね。
beat the motivation out of this kid.
俺ってもしかして世界って強いんじゃねえのって思いながらゲームやってたから、モチベーション維持できてたっていうのはあるよ。だからそのテレビに映る、テレビでこう放映されちゃう才能、テレビを見てれば知れちゃう才能っていうのがさ、
Seeing these acts on TV act as a filter, killing everyone's motivation because they can't achieve that
あ
greatness.
なた方は陸上をやりますかっていう問いかけじゃあるし。
Carl Lewis killing dreams out here, man.
立川って感じかっこいいな。いや、そうなんだよね。やっぱ強えやつって名前もかっけんだなって子供の時も俺は思って。梅原もかっこいいでしょ。
Cool last names. If you see Umahara's not cool. Umahara is hella cool. That sounds pretty badass.
だって松竹梅があるわけですよ。梅、竹、松があるわけでしょ。
Okay, this is getting way too in the weeds with the kanji. You got plum, bamboo, and pine. I don't think we can translate this section. First of all, he totally dodged the jab at him. The whole Carl Lewis comment was about him giving up on fighting Mena. And he completely sidestepped that. And he stuck with his no comment. Bro doesn't even understand the plum, bamboo, and pine. No, bro does not understand the plum, bamboo, and pine. I am out of the loop. I am uninformed. I am an ignoramus. I don't understand it. So this is the next video where he actually sits down with the Street Fighter 6 producers at the Esports Awards for in Japan, which I believe Lashar and Goichi walked away with some titles, which would never fucking happen in America. I've not seen this one. All right, let's see. Do we get any intel?
かなりね、強い。いや、強いゲストいますよ。
They get anything out of Matsumoto-san?
無茶ぶりで。
ないですよね。
Daigo and Matsumoto have never talked, huh?
実を言うとね、失礼だから、
Uh-oh.
ここで
Daigo's getting real.
松本 P って聞いてるんだけど、あんまりこう、どの人かなみたいな。
Oh, Daigo's big dogging Matsumoto?
そ
Uh-oh.
のレベル。いや、マジでそう。
Daigo just big dog
名
Matsumoto-san?
前はよく聞くけどなみたいな。
Matsumoto? Never heard of him. Meanwhile, me, everyone knows me. I can't even find someone who doesn't know my name or my face.
そうそう。で、なんか R がなんかやったら仲いいアピールしてくる。
Damn, is Daigo a comedian? He's roasting everybody.
それで正直
Kind of are you for sucking up to the producer of Street Fighter? Is Akuma gonna get buffed? Flat out asking. Damn, he just cut right to the
そ
chase.
うそうそうそう。さっき緊張して
ちょっと
なんかそうそう良くない感じになってる。
Oh, he wanted an award as well.
e スポーツの
Managed to get through the part about our esports division linking up with the R&D team,
もう一個言おうと思ってたのは
but I had intended to also talk about our rebalance plans.
あ、そうなんですか。
今回12月
In December, we realized that the volume of the volume of the update was going to be quite a bit larger than we expected. Am I dumb for not understanding this? In December, we realized that the volume of the update was going to be quite a bit larger than we'd expected.
ちょっと思ってたのちゃうなみたいなやっぱ結構今までで一番でかい
Probably the biggest so far. What update?
やつに
In December, realized the volume of the update was going to be quite a bit larger than we'd expected. The problem is, I don't know what parties they're talking about. How do you not know the size of your own balance update?
ボリュームとか、ちょっと思ってたのちゃうなみたいなやっぱ結構今までで一番でかかった。
Probably the biggest so far. Okay.
プレイヤーさんの声が。でそれはやっぱ。
And our combat designers were very aware of that.
意識してて。今後その。
So we've been talking about re-examining the volume and span of this update.
ちゃんともう一回考えて改めようみたいな話もしてるし、あともう一個その。
The other thing is when we talk about a rebalance, there are both character changes and overarching game changes, system changes. Okay.
環境が変わるぐらいの調整のこともあるじゃない。そこはちゃんと。
Realize it might be good to lay those out for people in a clearer way. As a whole package, it's a big update, but there is a point of distinction that we should make clear. That's another thing we've been discussing. So please bear with us. I intended to say all that up there, but I got a bit nervous. Okay, so he was trying to... There might be more context, but it sounds like... It is a little weird. It sounds like what he's saying is they had a fucking giant update ready in terms of the actual code going out to the consoles, but they were concerned about the impact and the delivery of it. Sure, but just release it. That's how I'm feeling. Meanwhile, in the esports scene, I know there's been talk recently about pay-per-view events. Okay. We, including Nakayama-san, have also been discussing what else we can do on the dev side for the scene. So we like to ask people to just wait a little longer. They kicked that can down the road to November. Remember when this first broke in October? They're announcing the pay-per-view for Capcom Cup. $40 to get the final 2 days of the top 16 to grand finals of Capcom Cup and the Street Fighter League World Finals on the Saturday and Sunday. $40 bundled together. And there was initial blowback from that. Then they announced that they were going to have an update on the pricing, at minimum, the pricing sometime in November, and that time passed and they said nothing. And the pricing hasn't changed as far as I am aware. So that can got kicked down the road again after they said they were going to discuss it. The dev team seems to keep trying to make these concessions or like trying to pull things in a certain direction, and then it keeps getting kicked down the road. I feel like you saved the best part of that. This actually woke me up. Yeah, this is like the juicy tidbits. But what he's basically saying is like, we've heard your concerns. We kicked the can down the road, and trust me, bro, we made a giant balance patch. We just didn't release it because it was too confusing. You guys are too dumb to understand our system decisions versus our character balances. Ono-san was the link that brought you here. Uh-oh. Am I not supposed to say Ono? Damn, it's Ono like the boogeyman now within Capcom?
それまでアシスタントでやってって言われてたんですけど、そのいろいろあって体制変わったんでメインしなはれみたいな。
大成功しましたねじゃあ。This
dynamic is pretty funny. Like, Daigo is talking to the producer of Street Fighter 6, and he's actually cutting through all the bullshit and saying everything that is not good PR speak for someone in such a high position of a company. You've seen great success, and Matsumoto is just sitting there and not saying hell yeah or no. He can't say anything. Daigo really doesn't give a fuck. I mean, he's like one of the few people in an untouchable position. He's Daigo. He's the face of the Street Fighter esports scene. He's not in the system, really. Like, he's parallel to it. He'll be okay no matter what. Like, he's escaped. He doesn't have to be concerned about biting the hand that feeds. Much like the rest of the community at large. Did Daigo criticize Street Fighter 4 and 5 as well? Yeah, he criticizes everything. Daigo has repeatedly said that Street Fighter 4 is a terrible game. Like, so many times. Daigo, when you get down to his actual opinions on gameplay and how he wants games to operate, he's actually kind of a fucking psycho. I think the only games he thinks are good is like the Alpha series and like Street Fighter 2. He wants games to be completely rushdown offense orientated and to have no exploits where turtling or playing defensive is a solid option. People swear that everyone loves every game they play competitively and that the Japanese community never disparages the games they compete in. I'm telling you, Daigo talks mad shit about every game he plays. And I think if you play competitively, you're gonna talk shit about the game you play. It's just how it is. And it's not necessarily that big of a deal. So many people get so defensive about competitive players critiquing a game, and I just think, man, just don't take it that, if you enjoy it, don't take it that serious. It's not that big a deal. It's crazy. People expect you to be glazing any game you're playing 24/7.
めちゃくちゃ成功してるじゃないですか。
ひなおくんも出てますよ。
すごい。
うん。
And now,
ひなおくん今14でしたっけ？15でしたっけ？14歳。
14です。
うん。
14 years old, winning with Ryu.
あ、受賞か。
うん。
これかっこよかったよね。
これかっこよかった。かっこいいポーズ。
Yeah. And now aura farming. That was crazy. I can't believe he won. He's like, ah, going crazy. And he's like, wait, let me hit the pose real quick.
あ、そうそうパクったパクった。
Like he was so ready. I can't believe he was so ready to aura farm.
もともと格ゲーってやられてたんですか？
僕やってます。その今僕41なんですけど、
あ、じゃあほぼ同世代。
代理で。
はい。
はい、谷さんが。
西金世代。西金さんと試す。
They're the same age. They're both 41. Damn. A lifetime of playing Street Fighter versus working on Street Fighter.
まあ、あんまりそのカプコンゲーだとちょっとあれですよ、薄い世代っすよね。あんまいないっすよね。そういう変な意味じゃなくてね。
I don't mean anything by that. There weren't as many famous ones. Daigo's just accidentally shit talking everything. Oh, so you joined Capcom when they put out a bunch of shit garbage that no one gave a fuck about. Nice. Play Street Fighter 2? All about Street Fighter 4. I played that a ton. Oh, that piece of shit. That's why he's so starstruck by Daigo. The fact that Street Fighter isn't free to play also affects the barrier to entry. Ooh, he's talking about that. Pay money up front.
5の時点で
By Street Fighter 5, friends of mine were speculating that the next game would be free to play.
次無料なんじゃねえかはちょっと予想としてあったんですけど、やっぱ難しいんですか？
But I guess it's too hard to make that work. Capcom's sentiment is that when people pay money, they tend to feel more invested in it. True. Having them pay up front. It's also just a hard game to monetize, but that's more of an issue that arose later on. Yes, because you won't put out any DLC. Or maybe the sales were bad? Is this what they're trying to say? I want to know more about this. My uninformed opinion is that it's hard to monetize because it's hard for you guys to put out enough content for me to give you money for. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe we'll say, listen, we put out a bunch of content in the beginning, but the return on investment was low, the margins were bad, and therefore it didn't make sense to continue to invest in this direction. Or maybe it turns out no one wanted our avatar slop. We thought we could put all of our focus in doing battle passes and putting on all these cosmetics for this avatar game mode. We thought it would make a killing, and it didn't work out. Everyone bought all our swimsuit costumes and cosmetics for the main cast characters, but that's too hard to make. What is the details? I want the spreadsheet.
どれぐらい強いんですか？
Like lore? Oh, he's asking about lore? Daigo says I'm into background lore?
で、ちょっと竜がどれぐらいなのかも今ちょっと気になってるんですけど、まあ豪気はまあ多分基本まあそのオロノが強いとかまあそういう話もあるみたいだけど、
Oro?
豪気はめっちゃ強いじゃないですか。でベガもなんとなく位置わかるんですよ。基本そういうなんか人外以外には負けないみたいな。で JP ってまあ今回一応ボスキャラっぽい感じなんですね。
Yeah, Bison's accountant is
JP って
the boss.
基本人なんですけどサイコパワーを持ってるので、まあそこのベガと JP のサイコパワーのまあ保有具合というか、そこで多分変わるので、多分
It's not a constant. How juiced to the gills they are in that moment.
なんすか？メトロシティで裸で倒れてた時と、その時の JP だったら多分 JP
のが強いけどみたいな。
Matsumoto just making shit up. Yeah, but you know that this section here, this like 1 minute section here will fuel at least 40 hours of lore YouTube videos for that real dedicated audience. You know what's so funny to me? That communities exist around dissecting the lore of properties and IPs that do not deserve it. Maybe Tekken you can get away with that, but Street Fighter as a series does not deserve anyone spending any amount of time trying to dissect, analyze, investigate, promote, summarize. It doesn't deserve any attention. But there is still a community of people who do that. I get tagged in tweets about people talking about the lore all the time. I muted them a long time ago, but I get people talking about this shit in my mentions like I give a fuck or like anyone should care. But if that's your thing, more power to you. Brian F hates power scalers. I don't hate power scalers, but I think your talents are wasted if you're doing it for Street Fighter. Because it's just, there's nothing, you're scraping the bottom of an empty barrel. There's still more I want to ask him. Daigo just wants him to answer lore questions. Daigo is the one watching all the lore videos on YouTube about the Street Fighter's power scaling. Daigo has a burner account arguing with people on Street Fighter power scaling YouTube videos. When you get into a fight about who's stronger, Akuma or Oro or Cody with his cuffs off, Daigo's the one talking shit in the YouTube comments on some kind of burner. Uh-oh, you haven't played World Tour? Fired. Fired. Oh, good answer. I've been having so much fun playing versus matches. Good answer, Daigo. Man, Daigo's good at this shit. It's like, wait a minute, there's lore in World Tour? Well, now you're speaking my language. What an interesting, candid conversation. Shoutouts to Daigo for being the GOAT, being able to get the Street Fighter 6 producer, Matsumoto-san, on there to spill the beans. What did we get out of that? What's a summary? We heard that the patch was so big and so complex that us mere mortals couldn't comprehend it unless they spent another full year dissecting and analyzing how to break it down to make it consumable for us. So they kicked the can down the road. And sounds like potentially the esports division was a little bit hesitant or caught off guard by the scale of it, and maybe they pushed back on it to prevent it from potentially updating now, which would be interrupting the final qualification for Capcom Cup for the Japanese World Warrior scene, Capcom Cup itself, and Street Fighter League, which is nearing the final conclusion on all those fronts. We also heard, what else was it, that the there's a continued separation between the esports division and the dev team, and that they are interested in doing more DLC, but they found that difficult. We didn't get clarity on why it was difficult for them. Potentially they saw that the sales weren't good, or it's difficult to produce the content. It's not clear, but there was some kind of difficulty they mentioned in terms of monetizing this game in this series. And that Daigo's a lore nerd. Interesting combo. A lot of revelations there, I feel like.